In a time that we see either a silent depression or a reverse market crash, which you can do research on, the time where the middle class is literally shrinking. Inflation is still going up, no matter if we call it saying it's going down. You're feeling it at the grocery store. You're feeling it in anything and everything that you're purchasing. At a time where people can't even purchase homes. It's actually cheaper to rent and basically throw your money away than put it towards a home because of the interest and because of the inflation of the home. California came out and said that 15%, only 15%, actually make enough money to buy a home. That's happening in a lot of states. Well, when we talk about all that, it plays into politics, plays into our next election. Well, there was some good news for Trump. It tends to lean towards him because guess what? If you all remember, go back to the numbers of what we paid for gas, what we paid for food, what we bought homes for in 2016 to 2020. It was a whole lot better than right now, especially the last 3 years. So let's talk about some very important things that came out this week when it comes to news and how it can really be some good news for former President Trump. Let's jump into it. This video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so much for being here today. It is a beautiful day here. We've been wearing jackets just about every day. So I love this time of year because fall gardening. If you're not fall gardening, check out our playlist about what we grow in the fall. That way you can make right decisions on growing food even in a cool season. It's the funnest time to grow because you don't deal with weeds, insects, and pests nearly as much. So of course, fall is my favorite time. Well, as we get close to fall too, and especially as we get close to coming within a year of a major election when it comes to our presidency, there's a lot happening. Now, we know the economy is falling to pieces. We know personally our money is falling to pieces. The middle class is falling to pieces. And reverse market crash, hearing those things, which means the market balloons, there's inflation is still up, and the fact that we're printing money is still up. Our debts are still up. So therefore, you're taking away from the middle class, and you're making the poor poorer, and you're making the rich richer. That's what the reverse market crash is. All these things are happening along with world wars that are conflicts that we may see ourselves in just because we have a leader who is weak. Why does that all kind of deal with the fact of the presidency? Well, Biden's our leader. No matter if Biden is actually causing all this, he's weak across the stage. And so therefore, when he's weak across the board on all these issues, it makes for a very topsy-turvy America and really world, to be honest with you. Well, we're hearing more and more and more world leaders who are saying, Trump pretty much had it right. Not only that, we're hearing more and more people who stood against Trump. Even some liberals saying, if Biden is running, I don't know if Trump is a bad choice. He may be the choice that we need to make, because at least in that we had good retirements, and at least in that we had lower inflation, lower interest, and at least in that, even though he spent too much money, even though he still was bombastic, it was a whole lot better economy than we have now. Well, now let's jump into the stories that are representing what's actually happening. All right, so we know that in the Republican caucus or the Republican primaries, Trump is dominating. He didn't need to take the stage. The more charges they try to bring at him that are frivolous, the more he gets popular, because people are seeing that it's just a third world country tactic to hurt the opposition party by trying to bring up these legal challenges that really have no bearing. To be honest with you, this week it came out that Biden got classified issues with him, which were way worse than the Trump situation. They were found all over, even more places than Trump's were. Charges were dropped. So then people are saying, well, why is all of a sudden Trump still getting all this fire for it? All the while our president, who was a vice president who didn't have authority to declassify, has got stuff everywhere and charges are dropped. So it's making Trump stronger. So we knew that. We knew he's winning the primaries. Well, this week it came out that Trump is starting to show that he is not only beating Biden in every poll, he's beating him over the point of error or the error of margin. Now, what that means is he's starting to trend in these areas that independents are saying, you know what, Biden's not our guy. And if Biden is the one running, I don't know if he's strong enough to beat Trump. And also, if you compare the 3 or 4 years that we had each of these presidents, Trump years were better. No matter if I like Trump, he was a lot better. So that is what you're seeing more. So he is beating the point of error or the error of margin when it comes to the vote. So that's a good sign. He's also polling better in all the swing states. Now, Does all that matter? We don't know. I know people are saying, well, is the election, is it fair? Is there some things going on that's shady? I don't know, but I will say this point in time before the election that we had in 2020, Trump wasn't polling this good. So it's actually very, very encouraging to see that. Not only that, there's a new poll that came out that said Trump is actually polling better against Newsom, RFK, Harris, just in case Biden did not run, and also Michelle. That is awesome. And not only that, he's polling against people like Manchin, who is more centered versus the rest of the leftist ideology or the liberals. So he is actually polling stronger than any and every other person that is on the left-leaning side of the aisle. That is very encouraging. I actually thought RFK was going to hurt him, and I do believe RFK will still pull votes from him. But if Biden keeps looking so weak, then it can very much benefit Trump. Now, here's what I don't want to happen. I hope that Biden doesn't go out, Newsom goes in, and then RFK is still running. I hope that most of the conservatives, even if they don't like Trump, or the Republicans that don't like Trump, they don't poll towards Newsom because he's so left, but they don't poll towards RFK. I hope that they will coalesce and come around Donald Trump, especially for the fact that, no matter if you like him or not, he may bring more great policies. So I hope the people like the Nikki Haleys, the Romneys, even though they dog Trump out now, I hope that they will come around when Trump is the nominee. Now, another thing that's beneficial is you're starting to see the Nikki Haleys and the neocons maneuver towards big business and the things that we wanted to get away from. This week, Nikki Haley is meeting with Larry Fink with BlackRock. She's already involved so heavily with the defense contracts and military spending, and she's already come out and said that she believes that there should be more security on platforms so everyone knows who's saying the things they're saying. So that's a national security issue. Actually, it's a control and surveillance issue, and that sounds very much like the New York governor. So you see more of the Republicans who don't like Trump going behind Nikki Haley, and Nikki Haley is almost causing more problems for herself because she's aligning just what people are kind of getting away from. They want to get away from that kind of political class that Nikki Haley represents, or the Romneys represent. I love the fact that Vivek is pushing against Rona. So we're getting this better populist move, including Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson's not perfect, but it is a better move than McCarthy. So 2024 could be setting up for better situations when it comes to Trump and Trump supporters. Now, here's the problem. We are dealing with two major conflicts across the world. Our economy is in shambles. And also, we still have another year of Biden. So there's a lot that can take place during this time. But again, good news with Trump. The gag order got dropped. So now Trump can talk about his case. And I think people can see the truth of what's going on. Trump wanted cameras into the courthouse, into the trial. What that shows is, look, I'm innocent. This proved to most people that all this is just a witch hunt. I think all this is playing in Trump's favor. Now, here's the thing. If it keeps getting worse, it's going to play in Trump's favor. I don't know if I want it worse just because I want Trump to win. But remember, we have to live in this 12 months. We have to live in the fact that we could see more wars and nuclear threats like we're seeing, a worse and volatile economy. Also, the fact that Biden is still meeting with leaders, and like, for instance, this week with China coming in, he calls him a dictator to his face, and don't get me wrong, I don't think he meant to do that. I believe he's just an old senile man. I'm scared that his weakness and his elder incapabilities are going to cause for more problems for America. So we have a 12-month period that I am worried about before we get to the election. All the while, there was very good news for Trump this week. Now, Trump's got to be very careful, too. I think he has to be wise with his words. Don't do anything crazy or say anything too stupid. I think he needs to be very wise with his words. I think he needs to, again, I honestly believe he needs to pull the Viveks. I think he needs to pull the Tim Scott instead of the Tim Scotts moving towards Nikki Haley, which is most likely what they're going to do. I think he needs to pull even the RFKs and say, look, there's positions for you in our cabinet so we can work together. You don't all have to be yes men. I want you to push against me so we can work together to figure out what's best for America. That's what Trump should do, and I think Trump can humble himself a little bit in that aspect to say, you know what, I don't know everything, and when I put good people around me, it makes us even a force to be reckoned with. It makes us even stronger. So then, therefore, when we face the weakness of the Democrat Party with Biden or with Newsom when there's no true record there. Biden has a terrible record. He's a career politician with a terrible record. Newsom, have you seen California? It's fallen to pieces. Other than when the communist leader of China came in, that's the only time it ever got cleaned up in San Francisco. So we can stand on merits and records, and we can stand together as a whole. That's what Trump's got to do. He's got to turn around and now take the party and put it together, and then pull up records to the fact of, wow, yes, I screwed up in 2020 with the whole lockdown situation, but what is Biden or Newsom or Harris got to show? Nothing. An open border, a terrible situation in California, and the fact that our world is falling to pieces because we have a weak old man leading us. Those are bad things, and if that's what Trump should do, pulling people like RFK, pulling people like Vivek, and then turn around and pulling people like the Tim Scotts, all the ones that are getting out of the race, to come behind them and say, you know, we can work together. I want to listen to you. He did that very well when it come to 2016 when, you know, the Ben Carsons came over, the Mike Huckabees came over. That helped the party unite behind Trump. I hope we can do that again. Now, why do I bring this up? Why does this impact us as preppers and homesteaders? Well, we live in this world. No matter if we want to be a part of the political system, you are part of the political system, because those regulations, those deregulations, those overbearings, those surveillances, all that's part of what we do and have to deal with on a daily basis. Taxes, so forth. Also the world. We are living in a world that is falling to pieces because we've had weak leadership. So why do we need to know about the election? Why are we needing to understand wisdom and discernment when it comes to political candidates? None of them are perfect. None of them are going to lead our Bible studies. None of them are going to help us, butcher our animals here. No one's going to help you buy prepping supplies. But if they can make a better environment for you to do those things and have less regulation and more freedom, then that's what's key and that's what's important. And if you compare just a Trump and Biden, no matter if you don't like Trump's mean tweets, compare the record of both of them, and you're going to realize your life and your freedoms and the chances that you had from Trump years versus the Biden years were so much better. And we didn't have to worry about volatility with, wars going on. Trump kept that at bay. So lots going on the next year, but I do believe that the news that came out today is huge for Trump, and I'm hoping that they will learn to do better and learn to grow and use this as a jump start to even get further in the race and look better than this record that the Biden and the Harris and even Newsom has put forth. Trump is looking better. Now it's all about messaging, strategy, and making sure they can finish the race. Guys, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about this. I think this is some good news, and sometimes good news is always good to share because we hear bad news way too much. Guys, thank you for watching. God bless. Happy Homestead.